All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back update and information as you what. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to all your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. You don't share the information where we say it there for my table now. I'm going to just pay attention to this information. It is going to help to widen your horizon. Now, there is this upsurging, whether people, many people are saying, does Tinubu love Ndi Igbo? Remember that I know that many of you like this channel because I like touching history. I like touching a lot of things. It is only somebody that does not like information that will not like this channel. And I want to sincerely say thank you to all my fans, and also thank you to YouTube team for providing this platform for dissemination of important informations. Meanwhile, the question that is ongoing now is, does Tinubu love Ndi Igbo? And some people are saying, if Tinubu love Ndi Igbo, why has he not released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu since he came into office? And why has he not attending to the issue of insecurity that is ravaging the Southeast? And everybody is of the opinion that the only way to salvage what is actually happening in Igbo land today is to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ohamadike, one of Ndi Igbo. And I want to ask this question. It's just a question. Do you think that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu maybe becomes maybe a governor in the Southeast, or maybe president of Ohanese Ndi Igbo, or maybe he is given a minister, or maybe if he becomes the president of Nigeria, do you think that that is going to be better than fighting for Biafra, or than struggling and making sure that the Igbo people secede from Nigeria and become a nation of their own that is called Biafra? It is just an opinion. I'm just throwing an open letter to you. Just drop your comments. I've been responding to many people who have been writing me on the comment section. But the easiest way for us to have a better conversation is to hit me up on the super chat, and there we can have a better conversation there, and I can reply to all your comments. Now, urging Tinubu to revisit the implementation of 3 hours to appease the Igbo people as January 15 beckons. Opinion. Many people are urging President Tinubu to revisit the implementation of the 3 hours. Of course, you know that this 3 hours came out immediately after the Civil War of 1960 to 1970. And if you look at the 3 hours, somebody might be asking, what is the meaning of this 3 hour initiative? And you will be seeing things like reconciliation, reconstruction, and rebuilding, and rehabilitation. It is reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. That was how the introduction of the 3 hour was introduced immediately after the Civil War in 1970. And many people are of the opinion that President Tinubu should revisit this 3 hour that contains reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation in order for to have a work of a better Nigeria. But the question is, the issue is that every president that comes into power has his or her agenda, or every leader that comes into power have his or her manifesto, and even the party that is coming in from also have that party's manifesto and what they want to achieve in a particular point in time. Now, pay rapt attention as I'll be taking you down to the lane of what we are going to look at today. They say, do you love the Igbo people? They are asking Tinubu now. The foregoing question is without doubt a result-oriented question that can be posed to an Igbo-phobe, someone who, for obscure or unconscious irrational reason, has a morbid fear and distrust towards an Igbo. In Nigeria or in the diaspora, to ascertain how far the Igbo people have fared since the end of the Civil War in the 1970s. The reason for asking the foregoing question cannot be far-fetched as the seeming pervasive and deep-seated level of hypocritical love which not a few Nigerians exhibit towards the Igbo people is by each passing day becoming worrisome and suspicious, particularly as it is usually illicit. Bob Marley released line in one of his songs that goes thus: "Some will hate you, pretend they love you. Now, then behind you, they try to eliminate you." Given the foregoing no-holds-barred view, you may go ahead to criticize this right and culminate him if you like for saying the truth. After all, there is a quote credited to Bikram Chaudhry that says, "The toughest things to accept, swallow, and digest is the truth. When you speak the truth, you lose popularity. But I don't mind. I have found my life's mission to help people live their lives fully while they still can." At this juncture, it is not unexpected that not a few readers may find it difficult to grasp the rationale for expressing this view, particularly as a new year just began a few days ago. However, it is expedient to say that there is no better time to express this view than now, particularly as the federal government is gearing up and putting logistics in place to celebrate the Army Remembrance Day on January 15, as it is traditionally done by each passing year. Still, in the same nexus, it is germane that further clarify the foregoing view by saying that January 15 is yearly marked as Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Nigeria. It is an annual event to commemorate the nation's servicemen and fallen heroes. Also, the event celebrated each year also honors veterans of World War I and II, as well as the Nigerian Civil War. It is a day set aside for sober reflection on the significance of the armed forces to the country. In fact, while the Armed Forces Remembrance Day is celebrated on November 11th every year globally and known as the Armistice Day, commemorating the end of the First World War, but with the former end of the Nigeria Civil War on January 15, 1970, the date was changed to mark the restoration of Nigeria's unity, ostensibly to attain the restoration of Nigeria's unity, as necessitated by the end of Nigeria's Civil War. The federal government embarked on the policy of 3 R's, which acronymically means reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. This was aimed at fixing all the damages occasioned by the Civil War, including psychological damages done to the Igbo people, particularly as they were unjustifiably fought against with the instrument of starvation and currency. Unfortunately, since the policy that is inherent with the 3 R's initiative was made public, nothing has programmatically and sincerely been done to implement it in favor of the Igbo people, particularly as to literally calming their nerves and assuring them that their collective nationality as Nigerian is not being discounted. At this juncture, it is expedient to ask whoever dares to poo-poo the foregoing viewpoint in this contest to tell this writer how the entire expanse of Igbo land has been reconstructed since the Civil War ended, how the Igbo people that fell victim to the war have been rehabilitated and the entire aggrieved Igbo people have been reconciled in line with the dictates of the 3R policies. Rather, as not a few political leaders look forward to January 15, 2023 to remember our fallen heroes and civilians whose lives were cut short by lethal ammunition that went astray, or calculated, guided by some mischievous soldiers during the Biafran Nigeria Civil War. It would not be surprised to watch our political leaders on TV on that day, as they would predictably resort to hypocritical making promises to the Igbo people, assuring that Nigeria is one, as they will be heard mounting the clutch. We are one Nigeria amid backslapping and clutching of glasses, without resorting to campaign of calumny in these contests. Permit me to say that is how it has been since the 3R was initiated at the end of the war. There has never been any concrete seriousness or political will to implement it to the letter. Rather, on every January 15th, our political leader would be seen turning the venues where our fallen heroes and maimed soldiers and civilian victims of the Civil War are to be remembered into political jamborees without addressing issues that ought to be addressed. It has been that bad. Inasmuch as Nigeria is usually mounted to be one, whereas it is programmatically not, it is, however, incumbent on our leaders not to forget the words of J. Witral that says, "You don't get unity by ignoring the question that have to be faced." Without doubt, the fact remains that the unity of Nigeria, particularly as it concerns the Igbo people, has successively been taken lightly at different political dispensations. At this juncture, permit me to make reference to an interview with Dr. Chukwuma Ejemba, a close confidant of the IPOB leader and co-founder of Radio Biafra, granted the online Guardian edition of the 21st February 2016, where he unarguably threw insight into Nigeria's continuing economic war against Igbo was fueling agitation. When he was asked, why exactly do you want to separate Biafra country and what is your dissatisfaction with Nigeria as currently constituted, he partly replied, "Thus, this is the million naira question, but it's a simple one. It's a combination of reason, and it's because of the failure of the Nigerian government to implement agreement reached at the end of the Nigeria Civil War in January 1970. The federal government declared the 3Rs: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. But the federal government did not implement these three programs. If you remember the recent statement of former Akwa Ibom Governor Mr. Goswe Akpabio, when he said reconstruction was not carried out in war-ravaged parts of Biafra, but in Lagos, which did not experience war. You must also remember how the federal government used hunger as a war weapon during the war, which was a war crime. The blockade that was used to starve Biafra people to death. Then after the war, FG confiscated money in the bank account of Igbo people from eastern Nigeria and only gave them 20 pounds out of all they had. You must remember how hardworking Igbo people are, how they were in every field of human endeavor during the colonial era before independence, and how they dominated the civil service and businesses. There were billionaires among them, and then you gave them only 20 pounds out of all they had. It did not only destroy people's lives, it destroyed their economies. It was a great injustice done to them. So, the 3Rs were not carried out, then the FG carried out the indignation and nationalization degree, which was the privatization that nationalized foreign companies and gave them to Nigerian ownership. It enabled Nigerians to buy shares of foreign companies. It happened shortly after the war, and Igbo people did not have money to buy, as it denied us the opportunity to participate in being part of owners of nationalized companies in Nigeria, given the fact that the root of the agitation of some Igbo people is yet to be addressed or looked into. I am through this write-up to urge Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure that as January 15 once again beckons, that deepening the process of implementing the 3Rs should be of topmost priority, as the Igbo people has been patient enough on its implementation since 54 years down the line. The reasons for the foregoing view cannot be far-fetched, as the implementation of the 3R is unarguably unsatisfactory. Still remember, I got to wind down the curtain here, and this is why you need to be on this channel, and this is where I got to drop them. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button. Thank you for listening. God bless you.